Hello and welcome to Affinity. I've got a giveaway for you and it's kind of a pretty big one, or at least it took a heck of a long time to get it figured out. So we follow the link down below to the resources and look for Dave's hue selection, because I've done luminosity selection and saturation, so why not hue as well? So then you just go to the hamburger at the top, import macros to wherever you downloaded to, Dave's hue selection, and there it is. And this is, unsurprisingly, if you've seen the saturation selection and so on, that it's quite similar, but this is for hues. So the simple way to show this is, we've got 4 here. The first 3 are pretty much the same, but just with increasing complexity. So if you want just a straightforward one, let's start with that. And it very quickly brings up a layer here. Turn off the layer underneath, or the layers, because it'll do a merge visible to get the what's visible. And here we are. So you had a color wheel like this. By the way, this is just the colors. This is going to grey, this is going into black, and this is going into white. So I turn off the bottom layer and this is what's selected. So you've got this top layer here which is doing the selection. And when you do selection, if you want to convert to a mask, right click, rasterize to mask, dead easy. But I often leave it like this because it gives a dynamic control. So if I just double click this one here, and this is the procedural texture, which is the code which does it, which is quite fun. And literally the top one here is the middle, is the color. So literally you go all the way around, just the color circle like that. The width, unsurprisingly, controls the width of what you're selecting, and the feathering controls the feather. So it sort of softens off the edges so that if you're using it somewhere you can't see where it begins and ends. Mono protect basically takes out the monochrome elements. So if I turn this up, and what you start to see is you'll see around here this is being cut off. So if I turn this up further, the more you turn this up, the more effectively it's taking out the monochrome or the near monochrome elements of it. And of course we've got feathering on this as well, so that sort of softens it off when you're taking a piece out there, so you're going just to the colour on that. I'll do an example when I've gone through all of them, because this is the basic content of it. So I'll just take out that layer, turn the bottom one on again. The Smart Hue selection is the same but with more controls. So the smarten symbol is if you don't want all those controls and they're like get in the way a bit. So if I bring up this here, now I can bring this up, and now I can see I've got those same 3 middle width and feathering here. I can turn the bottom one off so you can see it. But now for this I can change how the feathering is done on this selection. So at the moment it starts off, it's effectively linear, so it selects up to here and then it's a straight line down either side. If I turn this one up to 1, I'm just rolling the mouse wheel on this, you can see that it changes it, because this is now an S-curve down by an exponential equation, and up to 2 it's a cosine equation, which is another one, but basically it gives you different ways of doing the feathering. You can also invert it, so if I turn that to 1, then it's just the opposite, it takes the other side, so you can always flip it quite easily. Monoprotect and MP feathering, which is MP's monoprotect of course, are the same as the others. The feathering here control does the same as this. You can change the detail of that. The calculation here, now watch with this, I'll just bring down the feathering there so you can see quite clearly the edge here. So this one, and this one, so the greys, the blacks and the whites effectively are all selected here. But if I turn it up to 1, now then it's just the greys, and this is using the traditional saturation calculation, so the blacks and the whites are left alone. And if I turn up to 2, it's just the greys and the whites. Turn it up to 3, it is the greys and the blacks. So it gives you a fair amount of extra control on this. And you can also do the invert here, so then you just go back and it selects that other side of that. So it gives you a lot of more control to do that. So turn this one off, turn on the last one, and this is the same again, but even more control. And because what this does This is the same, except instead of the middle, the width and the feathering at the top, you've just got 4 points. And so what this lets you do, imagine this goes sort of like low, up, across and down. So if I, for example, stretch this one here, you'll see one side of the feathering is now being stretched. So this distance here represents all this around here. In other words, you can change the feathering on either side. You can do this manually. You can also put this the other way around like this, and it will do it round through effectively the 0, which is the top bit there. Otherwise the controls are all the same there. I'll leave the erase monochrome for now because I'm just going to focus on these 3 in this video. So I'm going to go to myself a picture, and let's put on this. Let's just use the middle one, Smart Hue Selection, to see what we can do with this. We'll take up the bottom layer and bring up the control here and bring this up so we can see all of it. And what I'll do is start off with, I'll turn the feathering down and put the width down low, which is generally a kind of good place to start. And then if you literally go to the left on the middle, you're starting off, this is reds, and this goes up through there, and you can see what you're selecting here. So here you got, look, here's the buildings. Yeah, look how powerful that selection is. And I'll zoom across here. This goes through greens. There's not much green on here, but we have got the sky, and there you go. There's the sky selected just like that. And then you end up getting around back to the reds again. And typically what you'll do here is you'll get somewhere. So here are the reds. You have a low width to start off. Turn the width up to wherever you want to select there. Then bring up the feathering just to soften up the edge. You can go all the way up if you like. Just go to where it looks right. Do this always by visual. Try these controls, see if it makes any difference. You obviously don't want to invert it, although you can of course do that as a way of selecting the sky in this picture. And then start bringing up Mono Protect. So it takes out the areas you may not particularly want. So I just want to do these here and put a bit of feathering on that and play with these as well. Then what you can do is start to use it. So here now in this one, I'm going to say I'm going to put in a, let's just put a recolor in, and you can see it's just affecting that altogether. That's kind of not really what we want, but we can play up with this. But where this works well is if you put in a blend mode, particularly something like soft light, and you get something more interesting. And you can also, the saturation and lightness controls on this are quite interesting because they can get something down here. So look at this. This makes it, you've now got quite a nice, rich, dark image there. You can also control it with the opacity, of course, like this. So if I turn the background on now, it looks pretty similar, but I've made those colors, just that red's a little bit richer. So look, if I turn before and after, see the effect I've had before and after quite easily. You can also, if you want to, put a mask layer on this and mask out bits of that selection without much difficulty. Anyway, that's it. Sorry if this video is a little bit longer than usual, but I think it's worth taking the time to explain how that works. That's it. Hope you enjoy it, and thank you very much for watching.